Alright, shalom brothers and sisters. I am going to do a quick video and I'm going to prove to you that Kerr, who the white evangelicals have embraced as a prophet, is a false prophet, and she is delusional and she does not know the scriptures. And anybody that follows her and believes what she says, you have been bewitched. Okay? The first point I want to break out is this. Kerr claims that she has season passes to heaven. She goes up into heaven whenever she gets ready to go up into heaven. She has seen people in heaven, right? So we're going to show you what the Messiah said about heaven, okay? This is John 3:13. The Messiah said, let's back up to verse 11. Verily, verily, this is John 3:11. I say unto you, we speak that we do know, and testify that we have seen, and you receive not our witness. If I have told you earthly things, and you believe not, how shall you believe if I tell you of heavenly things? Now watch what he says in verse 13. And no man have ascended up to heaven, right? No man or woman. Kerr has not ascended to heaven. No man or woman. Anybody tell you they went to heaven, they are straight up liar. They are a devil. They are delusional. They are deceptive. And they are false. No man have ascended up to heaven, but he that came down from heaven. So who came down from heaven? The Messiah, Yeshua, right? Who the world incorrectly calls Jesus, right? He descended from heaven. He says again, once again, no man have ascended up to heaven, but he that came down from heaven, even the Son of Man, which is in heaven, right? Now, no man has ascended up into heaven. So if Kerr tells you she went to heaven, she's a bold-faced liar. You tell her I said. And all the rest of y'all, Hank Kuhneman and Steve Schultz, all of y'all, what's the guy name? Emmanuel. All of y'all false prophets to embrace that falsehood that has no scriptural backing. Right? The Messiah said, flesh and blood shall not inherit, right, the kingdom. So how can you go to heaven when the Messiah said nobody has ascended up to heaven but the Son, right? And flesh and blood does not inherit the kingdom. So Kerr, you're a big liar. You're a deceiver. It's deceptive. You're a witch, right? Now, that's witchcraft. This is not my words. When you lie and deceive people, that's witchcraft. That's why I'm calling you a witch. I'm not attacking you. I'm telling you a fact, right? When you make people believe that you got season passes, you go up to heaven, and you seen the Messiah and all of that, and people buy into that, because why? People love to be lied to, because they voted for 45 who didn't win, right? So now they're falling to that. Now, another point I want to bring to you, same point. No man have seen the Father or heard his voice. So you claiming that the Heavenly Father told you, he hasn't talked to no one, right? And this is what the book says, right? So John, the gospel, I should say, of John, chapter 1, verse 18. And it reads on this wise: no man have seen Elohim, which in this case is the Father, at any time. No man has seen the Father at any time. The only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father, he have declared him. So no man, if you got blood going through your body, you have not seen the Father, right? Now, let's go to John 5 and 37, right? Yakanan, John chapter 5, verse 37. And it reads on this wise, right? And the Father himself, let me back up for a second. I got the wrong verse. 5 and 37, right? And the Father himself, which have sent me, have borne witness of me. You have neither heard his voice at any time. So you prophets are saying the Father is speaking to you. You have the Messiah said, you have not only have you not seen him, you haven't even heard his voice. Okay? You have neither heard his voice at any time, nor seen his shape. Okay? So I know where you're going. You know what I'm saying? Well, brother, who do they see in the Old Testament? It wasn't the Father. It was the man who was manifested in the flesh, who is the Elohim of Israel. That's who they saw. The world has never seen the Father or heard his voice. And we always say it all the time. The Father spoke to me. The Father didn't say nothing to you. Let me read it again. Okay? The Messiah said, this is John 5:37, and the Father himself, he makes it specific, the Father himself, which have sent me. So just in case you in doubt who he's talking about, he said, the Father himself, which have sent me, have borne witness of me. It's in red, right? You have neither heard his voice at any time, nor seen his shape. What you gonna do with that? You gonna throw it out? You gonna rip the page out the book? Or is it true? The Messiah said it, right? I didn't say it. So if you claim that you seen the Father, heard his voice, you're a liar. And the truth is not in you. Right? Now, let's go to John 6:45. 6:45. Okay? Same book. 6:45 says, as it is written in the prophets, they shall be all taught of Elohim. Every man, therefore, that have heard and have learned of the Father comes unto me. Hey, you're not going to get nothing from the Father. You get it from the Son. He is the one that reveals it. So you haven't heard his voice. You haven't seen his shape. Only one that you dealt with is the Messiah. And that's the words of the Messiah. Straight up. Right? Now, the next point I want to make is Kerr just said, I got the air conditioning on. Somebody made a dumb comment in one of my other videos. Get the vaccination. Shut up, you demon. You shut up and listen to the scriptures. That's what you do. Alright? Let me get back to my point, because I had to stop for a minute and check you before you wreck yourself, right? So, the Messiah, the Kerr, I should say, said that we are in the kingdom age. In the video, I'll leave a link to the video so you can hear her say it. She says we are in the kingdom age, right? Now, she's a liar again because, number one, she's a false prophet because she said something that doesn't line up with the scriptures. We're going to show it to you. There can be no kingdom age without the King of Kings. Right? Now, so let's look at Daniel chapter 7, right? Daniel chapter 7, verse 23, right? All right, let's go over there. Pull out your sword. Blow the dust off of it. Start reading instead of bringing it to the church, using it as a decorative item with your decorative Bible case. Open it up and read it and not be deceived by the false prophets and the deceivers, right? So I said Daniel 7, right? All right. Daniel 7 and 23. We're going to read Daniel 7 and 23 through 27. All right. As soon as I can get there. I'm working with one hand. Okay, I got a big Bible. I'm holding it with one hand and turning it with the other hand. All right. So Daniel 7, 23. And the reason this is why it says, thus he said, the fourth beast, for Daniel talks about four beasts, right? The fourth beast is Rome, right? You can read that and research it on your own to find proof that the fourth beast is Rome. Okay, so the fourth beast is Rome, right? Okay, back to verse 23. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces, right? Who's that fourth beast? Rome, right? Now it says, and the 10 horns out of this kingdom. So that means what? Another kingdom will be birthed out of the fourth beast, which is Rome. Okay? Who was birthed out of Rome? England, right? Great Britain. Okay? The 10 horns out of this kingdom are the 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them. Who is that? America, United States. Another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings, right? And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until time and times and the dividing of times, right? So now, here's the problem you got. If you don't know who the true children of Israel are, then all your prophecies are not going to make no sense. Because you're putting prophecies on a person or a people that's not the people, that don't fit the prophecy that the Most High said would happen to the children of Israel. The Messiah said, Luke 21:24, that they shall be led captive into all nations, a prisoner of war. I talked about that in the previous video, right? So the people of the saints are the Israelites that were taken captive into all nations. And it said, the Messiah said, Jerusalem will be trodden down by the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles. Who are the Gentiles? The Gentiles are the sons of Japheth, who are the European or white people. Okay? Those are the Gentiles. Now, you learn in your Sunday school that Gentiles is non-Jews. No, it's not. The Gentiles, it says in Genesis chapter 10, you can read it, 2 through 5, talks about the sons of Japheth. Then it says that by these were the isles of the Gentiles divided. So the Gentiles was not a label put on the Shemites or the Hamites. It was a label put on the Japhites or Japhites, right? So, and watch what happens. Verse 25, Daniel 7:25, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. So, who's being wore out? The true Israelites, right? And see, the thing about it is you all have this replacement theology, where you replaced Israel with the church. can't do that because Israel is the church. You go to Acts chapter 7. Right? So the saints of the Most High are the people that were chosen of the 12 tribes, right? Scattered to the four corners, led captive, right? All right. Now, verse 26. This is going to bring it home. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it unto the end. The saints. And verse 27 says, and the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. See that? So the Most High is going to establish his kingdom when the Messiah returns. That's why you got the trumpets. The seventh trumpet is the last trumpet when the Messiah says the last trumpet is blown. Paul, Shaul talks about that. At the last trump, the dead in the Messiah shall rise, and we which are alive and remain shall be called to meet them in the air, right? Why are we going to meet in the air? Because that connects and ties with Zechariah 14. So let's go to Zechariah 14. First, let me go to Revelation real quick. Okay, I quoted it, so let's just read it. Right, Revelation 11. All right, just so you know, you got to get into this book. Stop teaching your church doctrine and teach what the book says, and you'll be all right, right? So Revelation 11 says what? What does it say? All right. Got to get the page. The page is stuck together. All right. Now. Okay, hold on a second. I got to get the right verse here. Okay, I believe it's Revelation 11. I might have gave you the wrong verse. All right. That's all right. All right. I'll find it. I'm going to ask Google. Google will help me out. The kingdoms of this world. Right? Okay. I had it right. 11:15. Okay, so 11:15. So somehow, some kind of way I missed it. Okay, it says, the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our master and of his Messiah, and he shall reign forever and ever. Right now, let's bring it home so you can see. That connects with Zechariah 14. So go to Zechariah 14, right? All right. And we're going to show you what happens. That happens when the Messiah returns, right? So Zechariah 14, it says, verse 1 says, behold, the day of Yahuwah cometh, and that thy spoils shall be divided in the midst of thee. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished, and the half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Then shall Yahuwah go forth and fight against those nations as when he fought in the day of battle. Right? And his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem on the east, and the Mount of Olives shall cleave into the midst thereof towards the east and towards the west. And there shall be a great valley, and half of the mountain shall remove towards the north and towards the south. And you shall flee into the valley of the mountains, for the valley of the mountains shall reach unto Azal. Yes, you shall flee like as you fled from before the earthquake in the days of Uzziah king of Yehudah. And Yahweh my Elohim shall come, and all his saints with thee, to do what? Verse 6, shall come to pass in that day that the light shall not be clear nor dark, but it shall be one day which shall be known to Yahuwah, not day nor night, but it shall come to pass that at eventime it shall be light. And it shall be in that day that living water shall go out of Jerusalem, half of them towards the former sea, half towards the hinder sea. In the summer and in winter shall it be. And Yahuwah shall be king over all the earth. In that day shall there be one, not no president of the United States, Donald Trump, or any other president for that matter, but Yahuwah shall be, right? There shall be one master, and his name one. And the land shall be turned as a plain from Geba to Rimmon, south of Jerusalem, and it shall be lifted up, the inhabitants in her place, from Benjamin or Ben Amin's gate into the place, that first gate, into the corner gate, and from the tower of Hanael unto the king's winepress. And men shall dwell in it. There shall be no more utter destruction, but Jerusalem shall be safely inhabited. Not up in heaven. Jerusalem on the earth. Messiah said in Matthew 5, the meek shall inherit the earth. He said nothing about nobody going to heaven. Right? And this shall be the plague wherewith Yahuwah will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. And it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from Yahuwah shall be among them, and they shall lay hold everyone on the hand of his neighbor, and his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor. And Yahuwah shall fight at Jerusalem, and the wealth of the heathen round about shall be gathered together, gold and silver and apparel in great abundance. So you remember where people always read, the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just. That's when that will be fulfilled. Not when you name it and claim it and you sow a seed in the wealth of the wicked. That happens when the Messiah returns, which kicks in the 1,000-year reign. We're going to prove it to you in a minute. But this is the 1,000-year reign. This is when the Messiah returns on the cloud, just like he said when he left. Right? Now, so with that said, it said, and so shall the plague of the horse, of the mule, verse 15. This is Zechariah 14:15. Of the camel and of the ass and all the beasts that shall be in these tents as this plague. It shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations, right, which came against Jerusalem, shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, Yahuwah of hosts, and to keep the feast of tabernacles. Right? Verse 17. And it shall be that whosoever will not come up from all the families of the earth into Jerusalem to worship the King, Yahuwah of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. Right? So, and the family of Egypt, verse 18, go not up and come not that have no rain, even shall be the plague wherewith Yahuwah will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the feast of tabernacles. This happens during the 1,000 years. In that day there shall be upon the bells of the horses set apart, or King James says holiness, but set apart unto Yahuwah. And the pots in Yahuwah's house shall be like the bowls before the altar. Yes, every pot in Jerusalem and in Yehudah shall be set apart unto Yahuwah of hosts, and all they that sacrifice, what? Sacrifice in the kingdom age, they're going to offer sacrifices. That's what it says right here. All they that sacrifice shall come and take of them and seed therein. And in that day there shall be no more Canaanite in the house of Yahuwah of hosts. Right? So, that's during the 1,000 years. Now, got to read this in context so you can know that this happens on the earth during the 1,000 years when the Messiah returns. Right? And the law is going to be reinstated back because it's going to be ran from Jerusalem. So, Go to Isaiah real quick, chapter 2, right? All right, Isaiah chapter 2. It connects with Hosea chapter 4, I believe. So it says here, chapter 2, it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of Yahuwah's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. You said you was taught there is neither male, female, Jew, nor Greek, but this prophet says all nations, which means that there will still be nations existing during the 1,000-year millennium. He says all nations shall flow into it, and many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of Yahuwah, to the house of the Elohim of Yaakov, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of Yahuwah from Jerusalem. The law is going to be reinstated. Why? Because the good news is the law. The Messiah is the manifestation of the good news, which is the word of the Most High. So you can't do away with his law, because his law is him. But you don't believe that. You think the law is done, nailed to the tree. But no, it wasn't. And proof is in the pudding, because the law is going to go forth from Jerusalem, right? Now, I want to take you back to Revelation again, right? So I can show you something real quick. All right, now we covered Daniel, so let's go to Revelation chapter 5, right? Revelation 5, we're proving to you that there is no kingdom age without the king, right? Kerr said we're in the kingdom age. No, she's a false prophet. And anybody else that teach that premillennialism, and all of that nonsense, read the book, and the book will tell you. All you got to do is read the book and believe it. And don't believe false prophets that lie to you, come to you in sheep's clothing. They are a wolf in sheep's clothing. Now, so in Revelation 5 verse 10, it says this. Let's read verse 9. And they sung a new song. This is Revelation 5 and 9. Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seal thereof, for thou wast slain and have redeemed us to Elohim by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation. Oh, my. And has made us unto our Elohim kings and priests. And we shall reign, where? On the earth. Not up in heaven, on the earth. Right? So, when the Messiah turns the kingdoms over, right, as we saw in Daniel 7, which connects with Revelation 11, which now we see it mentioned here in Revelation 5, that we shall reign with him. When does that reigning take place? Before the Messiah returns, all right, or after he returns. So we're going to go to Revelation chapter 20, right? All right, Revelation chapter 20. This will be the last one. I'm going to close it out. All right, Revelation chapter 20. Some of y'all need to ask for a refund. These pastors ain't teaching y'all nothing. Y'all paying tithes and offerings, and y'all getting junk food. I'm doing this for free. I'm not even asking for an offer. If you want to give me an offering, you can cash at me, right, at ChazaqKabad. I'll leave a link, right? But I'm not doing this for money, but you can cash at me if you want, okay? But this is free, right? But I don't want nobody to lose their blessing. If you want to make a contribution, you can, right? I'll give you the opportunity to do that, all right? But now, so Revelation chapter 20, right? So you should get your refund back from these preachers that ain't teaching y'all nothing. They lying to you, teaching you, manipulating you, getting you to give money so they can ride around in lavish cars and live in expensive houses and stuff like that while they're giving you junk food. You should get a refund. All right, Revelation 20, verse 4. It says, "And I saw the thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahshua the Messiah, for the word of Elohim, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither have received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with the Messiah 1,000 years." Oh my. What you gonna do with that? You gotta rip that out the book too, right? They reign with the Messiah for 1,000 years. So there can't be no kingdom, no millennial kingdom without the Messiah. If somebody is here and we're supposed to be in the kingdom, that's an anti. That ain't the Messiah. Because when the Messiah comes, he gathered his elect, Matthew 24, from the four corners. He takes over. He takes the kingdom, as it says in Daniel, right? The stone that was cut out of the mountain became a great mountain, right? And took the kingdom. He ain't asking, he taking it, right? So we know that if the kingdom is supposed to be going on now, according to prophecy, it's an anti. It ain't the real Messiah, right? Give us a call, 443-480-3116. Right? So now, let me finish this out. "But the rest of the dead live not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Blessed and set apart is he that hath part in the first resurrection, or such the second death hath no power, but they shall be priests," oh my, "of Elohim and of the Messiah, and shall reign," he says it again, "shall reign with him 1,000 years," right? Reign with him. There can be no kingdom age. There can be no kingdom. There can be no millennium. There can be no peace on the earth without the Prince of Peace, without the King of Kings, without the Master of Masters. There cannot be no peace. Donald Trump can't bring it. He can't take down the deep state. The Messiah is the only one. Revelation says, who's worthy to open the book? Certainly not Donald Trump or anybody else, but the lion, the true lion of the tribe of Yehudah. That's Yahshua the Messiah. Nobody else got the power to do it and can't do it. Why? Because they are not worthy to do it. So your hope and your faith and your belief is in the wrong place. When your faith, your hope, your belief should be in the Messiah, the King of Kings, who will come and take the kingdom over. So there's no deception in that. We know he promised that he would take the kingdom. Why? Because the earth right now is being ran by the wicked. Okay? Now, verse 7 says, when the 1,000 years, Revelation 27, when the 1,000 years were expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and he shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four corners of the earth, God and may God, to gather together to battle, the number whom is as the sand of the sea. Right? So now, I'm going to close here. But prayerfully, you got something out of what I just shared. I proved to you that Kerr and anybody else that teach that we're in the kingdom and that we're going to heaven, nobody's going to heaven. The Messiah said, no man has ascended up into heaven. Kerr is a liar. She is a liar. She has not ascended up into heaven. The Messiah said, no man has ascended up into heaven. No Kerr or anybody else. I don't care how many visions and how much you fast and how deep you present yourself to be. No man has ascended up into heaven, but he that descended. And who is that? Yahshua the Messiah. And with that said, shalom, shalom, shalom.